So much needs to be done in my home, but I'm starting in the bedroom because I really feel like it is super important to protect your sanctuary and to have a place that you can rest at the end of the day. We had a very busy week. Added to that, I've been sick for a week. Added to that, our cat Woozy developed pancreatitis. And so it was an emergency vet call and just trying to make our living room into a hospital for a cat because they said we would admit this cat except for the fact that we don't have room in the hospital right now. And financially, we were kind of relieved, and it's gone fine, and he's finally kind of doing better today. But it has been a week of a sick me and a sick cat, and then trying to get Easter together and to keep the videos flowing. It has just been a week. And so I got up on Monday morning after Easter, and my house was a mess because I did enjoy Easter. I did have a relaxing day. Oh yeah, and I forgot our dishwasher finally took the final last breath. So on top of all the sickness and the busyness, we also had a broken dishwasher. So we ordered a dishwasher, and you're going to be seeing that coming up soon. I did not spend a ton of money. I did not get a dishwasher that was like advertised to be super quiet. I got one that was advertised to be super inexpensive. And so it's very basic, and I'm just happy with it. And I want to be very basic as well. I have a to-do list that could fill a book, but I am stubbornly starting in my bedroom, and I'm going to get it completely cleaned up so that I have a clear mind for working and also a clear space when I go and want to sleep at the end of the day. So yeah, that's just a reminder to you. Still fighting this cold, but it is so much better, and I am thankful for that. For sure. You know how it is when you're sick, and if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So we're just all limping along over here. Yvonne is up and down, and as far as feeling good or feeling ill. And so we're just doing the best we can. And I'm sure you're in the same place too. Like, what are you struggling with? Feel free to share it with me in the comments section, especially if you need prayer. I would be more than happy to add you to my prayer list if there are things that you are struggling with as well. But isn't that just life? Is just, things are happening every day, and you get to a point sometimes where you're like, why can't anything just be easy? Or maybe you feel like life is just out to get you. But then you have to remind yourself, there's so many people that are struggling with so much more. It is actually a normal part of life is the struggle and working through the struggle. And so I always have to remind myself that the things I'm going through are not unusual. They're the type of things that we all go through, and we persevere, and we just do our best every single day. I actually asked my best friend Google to give me some motivation, and I asked Google, why is it important to have a clean bedroom? Well, Google gave me lots of great reasons to have a clean bedroom. First of all, and what we all need, is a better sleep. And he said, I'm saying it's a he. Maybe it's a she. Let's say it's a she. A clean and organized bedroom can significantly improve sleep quality, allowing you to fall asleep faster and sleep more deeply. And then here's a good one, especially for this time of year: reduced allergies and asthma, because dust, allergens, and mold build up and can trigger our allergies and asthma symptoms. But regular cleaning helps minimize these irritants. And, keeping things vacuumed. You saw me shampoo the rug last week. All those things are so important. Reduce germs and illnesses, because as you clean and disinfect your bedroom, of course, you can reduce the risk of catching illnesses. Regular improved air quality as we remove those dust and allergens. But I think the big one for me, as I put away clean laundry, which always feels so good, is it makes it easier to concentrate when I am working. It helps reduce stress and anxiety. A clean, organized bedroom promotes relaxation, peace of mind, an enhanced mood, releasing endorphins. Who doesn't need endorphins? Stabilizing our mood and calming the mind. And if you deal with stress and anxiety, all of us need that. We need to have a peaceful surrounding and just doing our best. So as I put away laundry, I'm taking out the dirty towels, putting in clean towels. I'm loving our bathroom. I'm seeing it really come to fruition right here. Also, keeping your bedroom clean and organized can give you a sense of control over your personal space and make you feel more accomplished and productive. And I would say, is that not a major reason to not let your bedroom become a dumping ground? And as I was getting Easter boxes ready, definitely my bedroom became a dumping ground. I've also struggled with that at Christmas time when I'm wrapping presents and hiding presents. And so what I've tried to do at those times, and I did not do it this time, is to do it in my basement, to have a big old Rubbermaid box that I can hide gifts in, or even trash bags once they're all wrapped, and keeping them down there instead of keeping them up in my bedroom. And of course, I don't have young children that are going to be snooping anymore. That definitely helps. Under my bed here, I have extra sheets and pillowcases. Always, I need to recount what I have, what I need, thinking about what is really the maximum amount of people that I can sleep in my home, because I'm at a point in our family, if they were all to come visit, I really can't fit them in my home, honestly, unless we were setting up beds in the kitchen as well. There's just no way that I can keep our big family in our home. I have 7 kids. 3 of them are married, and one of them is married with 3 children. And so it's just to that point. So it's important to be counting the bedding and not keeping more bedding than I need to. Also, you save time when your bedroom is clean. It's easier to find things because oftentimes things that are important to you are in your bedroom. I have a file cabinet in my bedroom. I'm really thinking about getting rid of it and getting just a very smaller file box. I know some of you have scanned your important papers onto a computer, and that is how you deal with it. So look at my desk area, like who can work in this mess? I have my shower caddy, cleaners, books, all the things I've been doing. My makeup is there, and behind me all these blankets. And you're going to see the blankets stay. I'll neaten them, but I need my husband to help me. We need to lift the shark vacuum, that's a bit heavy for me, up the stairs so I can get, or maybe I should bring the bags down. You know what? That might be a better idea. Why didn't I think of that before? I'm telling you. See, when things are a mess, you just can't concentrate. While I have you here and I have your attention, I have something I would really love you to share in the comments section. I would like to know what brings you to YouTube, because I'm really thinking, like, as I move forward with This Mainer Mom, what is the way I can help you the most? And look at me taking a break. Remember to take breaks. This is your reminder. That's why I left that in here. I do take breaks. I'm watching a video. I'm having a snack, and that's water in front of me. Stay hydrated. All those things are so important. Also for relaxation, for concentration, and just honestly living at peace and not killing yourself cleaning your home. Okay, I want to know, as I move forward, what do you come to YouTube for? Do you come for information? Like, I think of Clutterbug, Minimal Mom, people who are giving you information on how to keep your home, how to be more efficient, ideas you may not have thought of. Is that why you come? Are you coming for motivation? Do you want to see somebody keeping their home the way you're keeping your home? And that is what keeps you going. It gets you in the mood to clean. When you watch someone else clean, it gets you in the mood to declutter. When you watch someone else declutter, or do you come to YouTube? Do you tend to watch people that you relate to? A friend who can work alongside you, and that community feeling of having someone that you love and that you know loves you? Is that why you come? Or honestly, are you here just for the declutter? And honestly, if you're here just for the declutter, you're probably not watching this video. You're probably watching and waiting for me to put up another declutter video. And I had said I wasn't going to do another thing until I went down to the basement to declutter. And honestly, I just could not leave this mess another day. So that is still niggling in the back of my mind, not to mention the fact that I knew we had to go pick up the dishwasher. We weren't going to pay to have it delivered. So I knew I could not fill my car with things for Goodwill. So that was important as well. And now I know we need to do a dump run, and we're going to be bringing our old dishwasher and paying. And my dump is a transfer station. So the things that we bring to the dump, our town actually makes money on, and some things they set out for us to take. So we can go through things, and they have different sections, like they have a section for building materials, a section for yard waste, sections for recyclables, for appliances, for computer and electronics, that sort of thing. And it is a transfer station, so it is a moneymaker for our town. It makes it a little bit easier to throw things away if we have divided them up properly, because it's very similar, no matter what you're throwing away, it's very similar to recycling, or it is recycling, even the trash that gets compacted. So anyway, as I move forward with YouTube, I am offering more information these days, but I am not titling it that way so that people know what information they're going to get. But maybe I need to change that. So you could really help me and help our channel grow, help it reach more people, and help it to help more people by letting me know what you come here for, because you are like so many others, and it will really, really help me, and I appreciate it. Also, if you've never subscribed, I would beg you, in the name of Jesus, I am just being honest, ladies. I need to grow for various reasons. This is my job. And I really do need to help my family, and we have goals. And if you would subscribe, if you haven't, it's free, and it would really help me. So I'm doing some business calls here this morning as well. I am still a health coach, so every Monday morning I have a couple of calls, and honestly, both these ladies are here, and they are my friends. And that's what's such a blessing, is that they encourage me as much as I encourage them. I have channel memberships. If you are interested in getting to know me better, I have definitely more information on there. We are going through books together. Right now we're going through one called Breaking Anxiety's Grip. And I will leave that link in the first comment as well as in the description box of this channel if you are interested. I also have opened up more about our adoption of my time living in Nicaragua, and there's different things on there. Also, the members can request information or things that they want to know about, and I make a video. We did one that was about, what to do when your nest is empty and finding purpose again. So here is my bedroom, so much cleaner. I still have those blankets here, but let me remind you of the mess we started with. This is what it looked like before. Oh man, there was no way for me to concentrate or relax in such a bedroom. And there's my bed area. Bed wasn't made. I haven't closed the curtain, which always would be good to just close that curtain and not see. And this is what it looks like now. So much better. I cannot tell you how much better I feel. And then I decided to up my game a little bit, do a little deep cleaning, and do a quick clean of these end tables. They are mirrored, so I am using glass cleaner. Definitely, most of my home now is glass cleaner, because as you know, I have glass end tables, and then I have a mirrored TV stand, and I honestly love it. It is easy to clean. I don't feel like the scratches show the same way they show on wood, and they haven't gotten terribly scratched. Now I have another load of laundry that just came out. I'm getting caught up on laundry as well today. And so I'm going to get all of that folded. I'm putting aside anything I'm going to hang up and folding the rest. I would love to know how your Easter went as well, if you care to share. We had a non-traditional Easter for us. My husband and I were the only two to go to church. Everybody, as I said, we've just been limping along lately. And then my oldest daughter, Rachel, she made a brunch. So we ended up having an Easter brunch, and that was really our meal for the day. We did pancakes and raspberries, strawberries. They had whipped cream on theirs. That's not really my thing. Oh, and we also had kielbasa sausage on the side. And so that was after my husband and I got home from church. So it was a later lunch, more like 2 o'clock. And then at supper time, we went outside and we built a campfire, our first real campfire of the year, and we made s'mores. I had already had a day where I had picked up sticks outside, and so that gave us something to burn. And I need to bring my box of paper that I took out when I did my file cabinet declutter recently on this channel. I have a box full, and one of you said, instead of buying a shredder, why don't you just go ahead and burn it? So I'm going to do that. What I'm going to do is whenever I burn paper, I put the cage on top of the campfire. Look at me. I'm trying not to throw away these towels because we actually love them. The ones that are thinner are great for your hair, and that's why we keep them. But anyway, I always put the top on it that's like a cage whenever I burn paper, because paper tends to float up in the air, and sometimes you can have burning embers that are floating up in the air. So it does make me a little nervous to burn paper as well as leaves. I don't tend to do that too much, but I know if I put that cage on, it will keep the embers from floating up in the sky. I live in a very wooded community, and a community where you have to get permission for every single tree you cut down because they want to be a wooded community. And so what that means is there's a lot of dead trees around that haven't been cut down, not to mention the fact that we're all on half-acre lots, so we're very close to each other, very large trees that are expensive to bring down because you have to get someone who is insured to do it so that they're not bringing that tree down on a house, of course. So dead trees means you could set the whole neighborhood on fire by being irresponsible with your campfire. This little, very little drawer is a little bit the bane of my existence because I don't really want to get rid of what's in here, but it's a little too small for what I have. I might need to just declutter more. I'm telling you, ladies, and you know, what a beautiful day out. And now it's time to do dishes. Oh, okay. I'm going to say that you know I need to declutter more. Okay, here's the broken dishwasher. It had dirty dishes in it, and those were in there for a couple days. Truth bomb. And it is time to tackle it. But you notice I tackled my bedroom first. That was my priority, and I decided if these have to stay another day, they're going to stay another day, but my bedroom is going to get cleaned. So I'm cleaning out the kitchen area, the sink area. The flowers had died. Those were from Yvonne's shower, and we enjoyed them so very much. As I'm watching this video, I'm noting, oh, I need to buy more glass cleaner. Oh, I need to buy more sponges. So I'm kind of making a little list on the side as I'm sharing with you here. But I'm going to get all of the dishes washed and get us all caught up again, and it's going to feel amazing. As I said before, Easter was very chill, very relaxed. We didn't do the big high work feast that we have done before, and I gave them their Easter boxes after we had lunch, and they were very happy with them. I feel like it was like the perfect amount. I struggle so much with these types of things. I didn't want to get them a bunch of candy, but what I did was I did the jelly beans, and then I did more specialized candies that they love that we only really do on holidays. We don't spend a lot of money on candy, so I got some special chocolatier type things, and then I got some self-care items, just a few, because sometimes I'll do the self-care items and they don't get used. I went with the shower steamers instead of the bath bombs because we tend to take more showers than baths. And I went with lavender and mint because I felt like if you take a night shower, lavender would be really nice because it would help you to relax. And if you took a morning shower, mint would be really good to kind of help you to wake up. So those were the 2 scents that I was looking for, and I'm looking forward to using those. Maybe I'll use one of those when I'm done with this voiceover. That sounds like a great idea. So, getting all the dishes washed up. I have a mixing bowl in the sink there, and I filled it with soapy water, and I'm just using that as a dish pan. Remember in the old days, did you have a dish pan growing up? I think you use a lot less soap if you have a dish pan than squirting soap into each cup and on each plate. I have found that I remember what I'm trying to say is I remember growing up, we had a dish pan. You'd give it a squirt, maybe a quarter size at the most, and you would do all of the supper dishes. But nowadays, we mostly just squirt the soap right on the dish, and I think you go through so much soap that way. And, every little bit counts these days. By the way, you see my water running. I want to let you know I don't pay a water bill where I live. We actually have a community well that is spring fed, and we don't run out of water, and we don't rob water from other people where it is spring fed. I live across the street from a lake, and the same springs that feed the lake and then flow into the Saco River is the same spring that provides us with our water, which is so tasty. In fact, the rumor is, and I can't tell you 100% if it's true, but there is a Poland Spring, which is now owned by Nestle, plant near me. It's like 15, 20 minutes away. The rumor is that they ask for our water and we turn them down. So now they have their water from somewhere else. Another place that I lived in the past, all of my water came from Sebago Lake. So that's kind of the culture of Maine. We're on a well. We have a septic system. We're not on town water. We're not on town water. Well, I guess we kind of are if we have a community well, but we're not on town sewer is what I'm trying to say. There is no town sewer where I live, so we're all on a septic tank, which is why I'm not allowed to have chickens or farm animals. Something about living so close to each other. We're on the half-acre lots, even though it's wooded. It's almost like suburban living because we are close together, but it seems like country living because there's so many trees. I don't know if you can hear a saw in the background, but just think of it as background music. I absolutely love to hear the sounds of people working. I love to hear pounding hammers and mowing lawns with the lawnmower, and right now I can hear them taking trees down. I think they're going to clear a lot near my house. I'm going to walk down there today and find out, but if you can hear that, I apologize, but I'm just loving it. It's like a cat purring to me. Anyways, I have been thinking about how to re-manage our home. As your kids grow, and they get older, they get jobs, they get busier, life changes, and there's just always shifts and changes based on everyone's life. So right now we have 6 adults living here. So my youngest daughter is 18, and then Yvonne is 19, Gracie is 20, Rachel's 27, and then there's my husband and I in our 50s. And I'm about to turn 60 in June, so that's pretty exciting. So I'm just thinking about how to reorganize who does what in the home. Oh, it's getting loud now. I got to shut my window. Right now, it's not as though people aren't pitching in. They are. It's just very helter-skelter, and I never know who is going to do what each day because there's a real lack of organization on my part. To be honest, I do think it's my job. I don't think, it's appropriate to think one of my daughters is just going to get up one day and organize all of us and tell everybody what their jobs are. So I am preparing to write down literally every job I can think of. And as I think of more, I'm going to add to the list. And we're going to find a way to divvy it up. And I even thought that I might give them the opportunity if they were really busy. It's going to be weekly chores. So you can choose whatever day to do your thing. So instead of dividing them up daily, it'll be this is what you're doing for the whole week. You can do it all in one day. You can spread it out a little bit every day, however your life allows for that. Look at your schedule, decide what you can do, when you can do it. For example, if someone's responsibility was to clean the bathroom, they could do that all in one day. They could break it up. And of course they'll do more in a week than just clean the bathroom, but I'm going to be dividing up the regular chores. And part of that is because there's projects like decluttering, like painting, like cleaning the yard in the way that I want it to be, or planting flowers, or whatever it is I'm doing. I have projects on my list that I want to get done. And because of my own lack of order, lack of communication, I'm doing more than I should of the daily stuff. For example, if someone was planning on emptying the dishwasher for me, I've not given them the chance if I get up and I do it right away. But if I know they're going to do it, I'll leave that for them and I'll move on to my projects. So I'm going to start prioritizing my projects and my work. I even am going to have filming days and editing days, and I'm going to leave the house to edit so that I can have a clear mind and clear spaces, do my editing, and then come back so I'm not distracted by projects that need to be done around the house. So it's a whole new world for Karen. And I even thought, like, there's many times I don't mind doing the chore, but if someone has been assigned to it and they decide that they don't have time or energy or whatever it is, they can hire me. I will have a price beside the projects or the chores, and you can choose to give me money or you can choose to do the chore. You just have to communicate that in advance. So here my husband is helping me with the dishes. He works from home, and so he had a free moment in his work schedule. That's one of the best things about having him work from home. There's just times when it's great that he can step in and get something done or take care of some calls that we need to be done. And then I have to be flexible on the other end. There's nights when, boy, would it be good if he was done at a certain time, but something breaks at work and it's his job to get it fixed. So it's flexibility on both sides, but I did really appreciate him stepping in and helping me with the dishes. And that's kind of how it is that people step in and help me. Maybe they'll make a meal, maybe they'll clean a bathroom, but because of a lack of organization, I don't know who's going to do what when and what I can count on. And so I really want to change that. If you're a person of prayer, I would love prayer, because these are the types of things I procrastinate. So we got the dishwasher emptied of all the dirty dishes, and so now it is ready for my husband to pull it out and uninstall it. And then once we pick up the new dishwasher, he will be taking that out and we'll be installing the new dishwasher, or he'll be installing the new dishwasher himself. I had stopped doing that daily load of laundry, and I have been letting it accumulate on purpose because sometimes I feel like these little jobs during the day, they don't seem like much, but if I put a load in, then I feel responsible to take it all the way out to folding it and putting it away. And it's those little interruptions in my day that I thought, well, maybe it would be better. I was testing it out if I let the laundry sit for a few days and then do the laundry. But then I got sick. So I've done a lot of laundry today because I let it get, ahead of me. And so the vote is out on whether that works. Michelle from My Everyday Wife Life, she mentioned in my last video that she does about 4 loads or 4 days of laundry per week. There's 3 adults living in her home, I know. As far as I know, that hasn't changed. And so she does more the daily load, but she only needs to do that 4 days a week. So she probably does what I did, which was you kind of keep it open, throw the stuff in, and then when you have a full load, start it up. That pretty much works for me. The only exception to that is if one of my daughters goes to run a load of their own clothes, but oftentimes they'll start my load and then put theirs in, or put theirs in alongside mine, and that works out great. But they usually are doing their bedding the same time. So I was trying to kind of keep my laundry out of the way if I knew it was a laundry day. But as I said, most of the organization of the home has fallen by the wayside. So I only have one daughter, and where I know for sure what day she does laundry. I have one daughter who will tell me in the morning I plan to do laundry. And then I have one daughter who kind of just does it or actually two daughters, who kind of just do it whenever they think of it or whenever it just looks like they need to do it. So it is time for some organization. I just was thinking about this, about how in a way, because they're adults, it is almost like combining households, because as you get to a certain age, you start kind of, managing your life, and you get in a rhythm of life, and you are more set in your ways the older that you get. And it's just time for us to kind of come together, reorganize it. That way, nobody is doing more than they should, and nobody is letting everybody else do more than they should, which just can happen. It can slip up on you where you just get into habits. And I'm kind of excited about it. I'm hoping it works out the way I have it in my head, but I will definitely keep you updated. Of course, if you are someone who watches regularly, we will soon have another grandchild, and he will be living in our home. And that is in about a month, give or take. So that's another reason why I'm thinking I've really got to get organized. I need to map out exactly when I'm going to do which projects, and I need to treat it like a job. And that's where YouTube really does help me treat it like a job, because then it becomes my filming schedule. And so I really want to get those projects put on a calendar of this is when we're going to do which thing. Last night, my husband and I did a dump run, and the sink, we got 2 new sinks in our upstairs bathroom recently, and it's been a month or so that we have had the old sink sitting in our yard. So we got those to the dump. We got a bunch of cardboard to the dump. That felt super good. Also, our old radiator that came out of our upstairs bathroom went. And so next load will be the dishwasher. And I talked to my husband, because we do have someone come take our regular trash, but they don't take the irregular trash. So we really talked about just getting everything cleaned up, brought to the dump. It's all a part of decluttering, And we always say trash first when it comes to decluttering. And in general, that's true. Big trash is tough. When it comes to things you're taking out of the home, maybe building supplies you thought you would use. And I said before already that my dump is a transfer station. So the great thing is, if Restore, which is like a Goodwill for building supplies, ours is very picky about what they'll take. So if they won't take it, I know, let's say it's wood, let's say it's trim work we're never going to use, I can bring it to the dump, and my town is going to make money on that. So that makes me feel good about that. So I'm just getting this bathroom cleaned and tidied. And, this is the frequent flyer bathroom, because it is in our downstairs with the living room, dining room, kitchen area. So this bathroom needs to be cleaned very, very frequently. And Yvonne is usually the one who helps me out with that. In fact, this was on Monday, and today's Thursday. Last night was Wednesday, and she cleaned the bathroom last night. So really, it is appropriate twice a week. These cabinets you buy, and I really didn't skimp on this vanity. I really did spend what it cost to get a vanity of this size. But boy, the paint job on these, it makes it tough to clean. I'm always scared to scrape paint off, but this was really dusty. And I took the scrubby side of my sponge and I got myself in the corners, but I really need to get out the toothbrush, because even with that, you can get dust trapped in the corners. And because of the moisture in a bathroom, dust can really become quite a problem if you don't keep up with it, because it quickly becomes grime when it's added to moisture. So I'm doing the best I can to get it clean. I did not get out the toothbrush on this day, but that's going to be the next thing that happens. I also need to regrout the sink, because they gave us a piece that came with this vanity for like a little backsplash spot. But as the house settles, can you see the crack? I really need to get in there with some caulking. And I think I'm going to use white. I never caulked before. I always let my husband do it. And to be honest, I'm never really 100% happy with what he does. He doesn't have great eyesight, and that's part of it. And so I really need to just get it in there and start doing it and start learning it, So I'll definitely put that here. The good, the bad, the ugly. I'll let you know. I'll show you myself doing it, and I'll be honest about how it came out. Do you see that big dent on top of my dryer? That is from buying those detergents that come in bulk. I think one day I was trying to take it out of the cabinet and I lost kind of track of it in my hands and it dented the top of my dryer, which is so very sad. I try so hard to keep my appliances clean. It makes them look like new for years. I will say it makes it extra hard whenever you need to replace them because they still look new. The bathroom looks so much better. It's so wonderful to have clean surfaces, especially when I included the washer and the dryer. Now, the last thing that I had on my to-do list this day was to get dinner in the oven. So it's a couple hours before dinner. And if you ever have the opportunity, I kind of had it in my head that turkey breast has the reputation of being dry. But this Jenny O, and then there's another brand. Anyways, my grocery store every, month or 6 weeks will have these turkey breasts on sale for 99 cents a pound. They're super easy to cook. I do 15 minutes per pound on about 400 degrees. And I wasn't really rinsing the turkey breast, but I open it in the sink so as not to cause a mess. And then I kind of clean up after it. I noticed a splatter on a cabinet. Got distracted. But what I opted to do on this day, I got a bunch of these tin pans from Costco. And what a blessing they are when you don't want to do a ton of dishes. When your dishwasher's broken, you don't want a big mess. What I decided to do on this day was to peel up. These were the last of the potatoes. Peeled them up, cut them up, put them right in the pan. Cut up an onion, put it right in the pan. Added some water, cooked it at 400 degrees, 15 minutes per pound. So it was probably a couple hours here at the most. I mean, I didn't worry about if I overcooked it, to be honest. These come out so moist. They really are a great introduction if you're worried about cooking a turkey. And I feel like they have a good deal of meat. I feel like in ye olden days, like years ago when I would buy these, I would feel like there was hardly any meat on them. But I don't feel that way anymore. So I'm going to add some water, and I do end up adding some chicken broth to this. I wish I would have remembered that I have turkey broth frozen in my freezer, but the next time I do one of these, that's what I'll do. Then I mashed the potatoes. I made gravy, and it was such a big hit because the potatoes had already absorbed some of that broth as they were cooking. So they were so flavorful. I do have one daughter that's not in love with onions, and I thought because I was removing the onions at the end, it wouldn't be a big deal, but she did say that the onion flavor came through super strong on the potatoes. I could have sliced carrots too. That's what I would have done, but we had like 2 carrots. So I knew that wouldn't be enough. I decided not to do that. But this was so good, and then I just threw on a vegetable on the top of the stove, probably peas. I can't quite remember what we had. But this was such an easy dinner and such little mess because the potatoes were cooked right in that pan. So highly recommend. I don't show you what it looks like at the end, but it's kind of self-explanatory at the same time. Boy, I do hope this video encouraged you, motivated you, and even gave you some little tips that you might not have thought of or reminded you of some things that you could do to help keep your own home. Please always feel free to share in the comments areas or things that you would like help with that I could help you, whether it's seeing me do it or giving you more information about it. I'd be happy to do research for you as well. And I hope you always remember, as always, that God loves you and I love you too. And I can't wait to see you next time.